Charlie Kirk was a victim of the hostile world he helped to build. And I hope now that more people see that he was wrong.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Back by popular demand, surprisingly, we're doing another one of these liberal demon videos. I'm going to pretty much cram in what I have left on my hard drive pertaining to this situation into this one video, so it might be a little bit longer than usual. But I did ask last video, saying, if you guys want me to keep going with this, just let me know in the comments below, and majority of you, I mean, there was a few people that did say, you know what, I've had enough of them as well, let's just keep it going, but majority of you said it's important to keep them documented. I definitely agree with that. I think that these people should have their faces put online to stay there forever. But overall, I gotta say, I was actually quite surprised how many of you in the comments said, no, keep this going, keep putting them up. So okay, you guys ask, I shall deliver. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So people saying that he was a father. What about the Palestinian fathers who have watched their children's bodies being ripped to shreds? What about the children who are carrying their parents' and loved ones' bodies in trash bags? What about them? Charlie Kirk literally said that empathy is a weakness. He did nothing to stop a genocide that is actively happening. Why should I have more sympathy for a man, one man, who went out of his way to make sure I lose all of my rights as a queer person and as a woman presenting person? Why should I care about him? Why should I care about his life when he actively said that gun violence needs to happen so we can protect us owning guns, our rights to own bear arms?
I would say pour one out for Kirky boy, but I don't waste good beer on little bitches.
So, like, does this mean that just the people with the guns are bad still? Or is anybody out there thinking maybe the guns are a part of the problem? Or no? Are we not thinking that yet? We're curious. We were just wondering.
Keep the Second Amendment. Alright, bet, bitch.
Charlie Kirk. Before anybody asks, celebrating moments like this is not about bloodlust. It's not about a lack of compassion. In fact, quite the opposite. It's more like the sigh of relief from the trauma caused by evil men and their words and the evil that they've inflicted on the people around you. It's the hope, the potential laughter of the survivors, and a reminder that evil is not eternal. So all you MAGA pukes jumping on board with your, what happened to the compassionate left? You could take your compassionate left, stick it right up your entire ass. Yeah, so fuck Charlie Kirk.
What an interesting turn of events, huh? Jimmy Kimmel rose in 3 days. Charlie Kirk didn't.
Y'all were furious the other day when we refused to show empathy for an oppressor. And now I see across the United States you guys are holding a vigil for this person, a white supremacy rally. That's what I'm going to call it. Just wait until the day, the big fucking day the orange one goes. It'll be barbecues across the United States like it's the fucking 4th of July. That will be a day of celebration. No, it won't erase the pain of the damage this administration has caused and inflicted on marginalized people, but it will be a breath of fucking fresh air.
Y'all genuinely expect more empathy for gay people, trans people, women, and people of color about Charlie Kirk's death than you ever did from him towards us in his life. So I don't want to hear about who's got the moral high ground here.
I just heard that someone shot Charlie Kirk? Dang it. Ah, shucks. Thoughts and prayers.
I swear I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about this. I'm not happy about this news. It's so unfortunate. Can I just send a message to this? Great idea, wrong target.
No, but seriously, we're gonna be serious. It's so unfortunate when bad things happen to bad people.
Who would have thought the man that made it his whole personality to hate on everybody that didn't look like him and have his same gender, that other people would want to... Y'all see that Trump said that we're gonna have to pray? I hope them prayers do the same thing that they did for slaves, that they did for... No, but seriously, Charlie Kirk, shots and prayers.
Okay, so we all remember Trauma Bear, right? He's been on the channel several times in the Whining Liberal Men videos, and I'm actually quite happy that I found this clip. Once I found it, I jumped over to his channel on TikTok. Gone. His channel's completely gone. So obviously he got a lot of lash from this, a lot of probably terrible feedback, a lot of ugly comments. He closed down his channel once again. It's the second time that he's done this now. And he's not the only one. Several liberals, after posting up these brave and heroic videos of theirs, spewing out their hateful words towards Charlie Kirk, what do? They've either deleted the video shortly afterwards, or they put their account on private, or they closed down their TikTok account entirely. Now don't get me wrong, some of them have doubled down and they've put up more than one of these type of clips, but I'm happy I bumped into this one here. And it's not that there's any context to pick apart in this clip whatsoever. I'm just happy to include him and digitize his face for eternity, so he can be labeled with the rest of these hateful creatures that were so brave right away to come on out, jump in front of cameras, hit record, and try and say their little gotcha lines, try and put up their little hateful message that they wanted to say about Charlie Kirk, but then chickened out shortly after and wanted to remove everything down. So I am more than happy to reserve a spot for eternity on my YouTube channel for Trauma Bear's face here. But to you liberals out there, I would just like to point out one thing. When somebody loses their life who's a conservative, you guys jump in front of cameras and make fun of them. What's been going on since Donald Trump said that Tylenol can have a direct cause towards autism? Not saying that it causes autism, but saying that it may play a part. What happened? A bunch of you jumped in front of cameras and started downing Tylenols, and some of you ended up in the emergency room. There's even a story of this one young lady who's probably not going to survive. And I've seen people, conservatives, jump in front of cameras frustrated, saying, what the heck are you guys doing? It's time to stop. It's time to put an end to this. It's time to relax. Not hateful words like what you guys have been doing. They're actually putting out what you guys make fun of. Thoughts and prayers for this young lady. We'll be getting into that in the next video, but until then, I just wanted to point out when it comes to you liberals and us conservatives, we are definitely not the same.
I get it. It just clicked for me. I understand why they're defending Charlie. I get it. I thought it was because they just wanted to like get the libs, say like, oh, libs divide, libs are like, you know, that's not it. They're mad because it's them. They're mad because they are so shocked that people don't give a fuck. They're so shocked that even though this person was a Christian, we're not pretending that we don't remember what he said. We're not pretending that he was a good person. We're not pretending. They're shocked because for so long, you couldn't say anything bad about the dead. Oh, don't speak bad about the dead. Well, fuck Charlie Kirk. That's why they're mad. They're mad because it's them. And it's scaring them to know that we wouldn't give a fuck. And I didn't say celebrate it. I said not give a fuck.
Yo, they got Charlie Kirk, bro. I've never been happier.
It's not speaking ill of the dead if you're just quoting them and saying what they did. Like, it's really not. If you don't want to be spoken ill of, don't be a piece of shit while you're here. It's really that simple.
Charlie Kirk just got shot.
I've never heard of a genuinely kind, good-hearted person passing and then other people having to come out to convince other people that they were those things. That just doesn't happen. When genuinely good-hearted people pass, No one needs to be convinced. It speaks for itself.
Charlie Kirk just got put down like a fucking dog in Utah, and I could not be happier. Praise fucking be.
All of this shit with Charlie Kirk, specifically that video of Dean Withers fucking crying, has solidified for me that we need to stop letting white men be political commentators. Okay, they can't be the only ones we're fucking listening to because clearly they're not standing with us. Are you serious? The reason that he was crying and so fucking sad about him dying is because his bitch ass life has never been threatened by people like Charlie Kirk, okay? He was never put in any sort of fucking danger because of people like him, and that's why he has the balls to sit there and be all sad crying about it, okay? None of us feel that way. All of us feel safer now, okay? This is why I'm done listening to Dean Withers and all those stupid Hassan, you're on thin ice too.
Let this be a lesson to all those other conservative freaks, those little weirdos with podcasts. Just know your necks are on the line. Your necks. No. Your necks.
I don't care. Does Jesus love this? If Jesus really loved me, Donald Trump would be dead too. If Jesus really loved me, I wouldn't have depression. So there's that.
I'd like to share one of my favorite Charlie Kirk quotes with you guys. It really shows who he was as a person. Just watch this clip of him openly mocking compassion, saying that one of the most critical failures of the modern churches in America is their compassion towards immigrants.
So this is, again, one of the major moral failings of the American church is on immigration. Even some churches are good on pro-life stuff. And I hear some of these pastors and they're like, well, you know, we should let them in with open arms. I said, what Bible are you reading?
Just to give you the entire full context, because Charlie Kirk defenders will say I'm not doing that. But after this clip, he says you can pick and choose, cherry pick verses out of the Bible all you want to, but that doesn't change the truth. He then goes on to explain that you can still love people while you're deporting them out of your country and back into the corrupt country they're trying to escape from. He specifically said we can cherry pick verses and misconstrue them all we want to, but it's pretty clear in the Bible saying, for I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger, immigrant, and you took me in. Nowhere in this verse does it say I was an immigrant and you deported me back to my own country of corruption where my life was at risk. From Leviticus to Matthew to Hebrews, compassion is not optional in the Bible. It is the foundation of it. And the fact that Charlie Kirk was trying to suggest anything otherwise proves that he did not actually follow the teachings of Christ, but rather he weaponized religion to spew more hate and division, which is the exact opposite of what Jesus would want. The truth is, Christianity without compassion is not Christianity, it's nationalism.
So one thing I've seen a lot of since Charlie Kirk's passing is people that are on the left that claim to be Christian, people that are pastors, people like this kid here who likes to quote the Bible quite a bit, yet they contradict themselves. Now, as a little disclaimer to myself, I've said this on the channel before a few times, that I'm not some hardcore church-going Christian. And the reason I say that is not because, hey, I'm on the fence and I'm trying to appease to both sides, because I know some of you that are regular viewers are not Christians. So I'm not saying, hey, I'm trying to keep you guys happy, at the same time trying to keep the Christian viewers happy. The reason why I bring it up is because I don't know my Bible inside out. So I don't want to act like some heavenly, godly Christian know-it-all, because I most definitely am not. I do not have the knowledge of some people that are definitely deep into their faith. I've explained it before that yes, my faith is with Christianity. Do I know the Bible very well? No, I don't. Can I quote any verses? No, I cannot. So I just wanted to get that out of the way so you guys kind of understand where I stand when it comes to faith. But one thing that really bothers me is when I see, especially since Charlie Kirk has passed, these people that are supposed to be pastors. Now, this kid here is not a pastor, he's not a priest, but when I see people that are in a congregation, in church, and they're preaching to people and spitting out hatred about Charlie Kirk, that to me is absolutely disgusting. That is a fake priest. That's a demon in the cloth. Now, what this kid here did that bothered me is he wanted to quote and say, you know, quote unquote, cherry pick out a verse from the Bible. And he's trying to use it to his advantage, which many churches have with this same verse here, which is Matthew 25:35. Note, though, that they put it themselves in brackets, immigrant. Now, if I'm correct, way back in the Jesus days, guys, there was no borders. Nobody was really considered an immigrant. A stranger, if you're going to, what's the quote here? I was a stranger and you took me in. What that means, I mean, you don't even have to be some biblical genius to figure it out. What that means is, hey, you don't know me. and you took me in and helped me out. It doesn't mean, hey, I'm from a different country and you're letting me stay in your country. This is how they've been trying to twist this verse here. And if there's anything out there that truly gets under my skin, that's truly annoying, it's somebody who's trying to act all Christian and godly in front of a camera, yet they're sitting there and they're spewing out hatred on their own. They're telling lie after lie after lie. Anybody that claims to be somebody of the Bible, somebody of the book, somebody who goes to church should have no negative words to say about Charlie Kirk whatsoever, because truth is, whether they want to admit it or not, Charlie Kirk was definitely more of a man of faith than they would ever be. But unfortunately, these are the times that we're living in now. We're surrounded with people that are projecting. In reality, what they're trying to claim that Charlie Kirk was, that he was pretty much, well, an evil man that was disguising himself in faith. We see that on the left. And it's not to say that people on the left cannot be religious, but again, I don't believe that you can be Christian and liberal at the same time. You cannot be pro-choice and be for the Bible. I'm sorry, it's impossible. Yet we see it on the left all the time. There's so many people out there that want to quote you Bible verse after Bible verse after Bible verse, but they don't have any true patriotism in them when it comes to their country. They don't believe in closed borders. They think that everybody from all over the world should just be able to come on in. You know what? If they're criminals over there, hey, that's because they had a hard life. The Bible says that we should love them for who they are. Even if they want to violently hurt us, let's just win them over with love. I'm sorry, you liberals out there, how's that been working out so far? Every single quote that the left has taken thus far when it comes to Charlie Kirk has been bent way out of context. Just like what he did here. He says, hey, just so you don't think I'm taking him out of context, this is what he said afterwards. Why didn't he play us the rest of the clip then? I tried to find that clip that he was originally using here. I couldn't find it for the life of me. What was he choosing to leave out? It's great that he decided to word it to us, claiming, hey, well, this is what Charlie Kirk said afterwards. Show us the clip. If not, it just shows just how dishonest you all are on the left. You guys have nothing else truly in your arsenal that you can use. And this is the unfortunate thing for you guys. While you guys on the left rely on quotes taken out of context, rely on video clips that have been snipped down and shortened to fit your narrative, for us, it's much more simple to prove that Charlie Kirk was not at all the individual that you're all trying to paint him out to be. All we have to do is just present the clip in its entirety. So in reality, the only people that you're fooling is other individuals that are liberals. That's the only people that actually believe any of the gaslighting, fear-mongering, any of the lies that you guys are putting out. You're not convincing anybody that's on this side of the playing field that Charlie Kirk was a bad guy, because we all knew the true character that he was. Now, for those of you out there that want to put all sorts of metal in your face and different color hair and part of the LGBTQ+ community and whatnot, we kind of expected these negative reactions from you guys. We didn't expect them to be so blatantly evil and disgusting. But when we see people that claim to be, you know, the more godly type on the left, that are trying to fit in the same narrative and just smear and lie, it's truly disgusting. And all of you liberals at this point know you're in the wrong. You feel no shame for it though. That's the sad part. You should all be ashamed of yourselves.
Okay, we need to stop normalizing Charlie Kirk's views and calling it politics, like his political views. Okay, political views are like policies, right? Like I have an idea on policy on how to best do something or another. Not, I think women are property. I think black people are inferior. I think queer people should be executed in public or hospitalized. That's not a policy, my guy. That's hatred. Okay, that's violence. Policy isn't debating who gets human rights. Okay? So stop calling it political views. Racism, misogyny, homophobia, transphobia, anti-Semitism, those are not political views. That is hatred.
Just because Charlie Kirk had different beliefs doesn't mean that you can make fun of his death.
One of those beliefs was child rape, so fuck you.
Where was this for her? Where was this for her? Where was this for her?
I do not, and I will not, ever feel bad when bad people get what the fuck they deserve.
In fact, I even think that we should bring back, public executions on certain people. No, but think about it. I think that, and you guys should laugh, it should be public, it should be quick, it should be televised. By the way, you could fund the government
to watch it.
You could have brought to you by Coca-Cola, and no, I'm not kidding.
And there are a lot of people that are like, no matter what side of politics you're on, you should never celebrate something bad happening to someone. I, on the other hand, do cheer when bad things happen to bad people.
Yo, that's crazy. See, that's why you don't share your opinions in a giant crowd like that. That's why you shut your fucking mouth. That's why you just don't speak. That's why you don't speak unless you're right. That's why right is right and wrong is wrong. And that's funny. But I didn't like what he said, and I didn't like his opinions, and I don't really give a shit that he's dead. Okay, that was funny. Ha ha ha, very funny. Alright, Charlie Kirk this, Charlie Kirk that.
If you're surprised that someone shot Charlie Kirk, well, you haven't been paying attention to the motherfucker. I'm not saying I condone the actions, but I definitely expected them. Hail Satan.
Getting up here and crying about a man who wouldn't spit on you if you were on fire is absolutely embarrassing. Get up. That man is headed to hell with gasoline draws on, gums first.
When conservatives die, they leave no discernible legacy behind that can be pointed to that improved anyone's life at all. When's the last time you thought of Rush Limbaugh? When's the last time you thought of Jerry Falwell? These men were titans of their time. They spewed hate into the world relentlessly. The last thing Charlie Kirk said on Earth was gang violence. He was stoking racial hatred. If you look at what he tweeted in the last 24 hours, it's all about trying to get people to hate black people. Right? This is what he spent his time on Earth doing. And he will be forgotten immediately. Especially because he linked up with people on Earth like Donald Trump, who use people, who don't think of people as anything but tools to advance his own agenda. He made a lot of money. He was a huge grifter, and his legacy will flow into the earth and be absorbed. And nothing will be left of him. That's what it means to be a conservative, what it means to be reactionary. You contribute nothing to the world. No one's going to read him. No one's going to quote him. He'll be gone.
Well, for starters, I can say to this individual here that your clip definitely did not age well. Talking about, nobody's going to remember him. He's going to have no legacy left behind. Well, shit, you were a little bit wrong there. The last words that Charlie Kirk had spoken was about gang violence. He was trying to get racist, is the way they want to make it look. Look, unfortunately, it is people of color that tend to be in gangs. And the true statistics, it's not a lie. It's truthful. When you incorporate the statistics of mass casualties, mass shootings, as soon as you involve gang violence in there, the demographic changes drastically. When it comes to say office shootings or shootings within a building, within a football state, anything like that, or a school, yes, it just does so happen to be that the majority of those shooters have been white people. But as soon as you take gang violence and you incorporate it in, because remember, anything over 4 deaths is considered a mass shooting. It's a mass casualty event. The demographic changes drastically. So he was not trying to put any racial slurs out there. He was speaking true statistics. What is the number one in all the United States when it comes to murders is black on black violence. If I'm incorrect, somebody please correct me in the comments below. But 13% of the population of the United States of America, over 50% of violent crimes are caused by them. That's pretty insane, guys. If you look at what Charlie Kirk tweeted within the last 24 hours of his life, and then he looks up, right? Because he knows he's about to lie to everybody. It's all about trying to get people to hate black people. No, I'm sorry. What Charlie Kirk was tweeting about, what Charlie Kirk was furious about, was that mentally ill black man that killed that poor Ukrainian woman on the train. That's all he was pointing out. It doesn't matter if that individual was white or black. It would have been the same tweets coming out of Charlie Kirk. There's a mental illness problem in the United States of America, and they're allowed to freely roam. 14 mugshots, if I'm correct, this guy's had in the past. He's been released over and over and over, and look what finally happened. He murdered that young Ukrainian woman for absolutely no reason. So for this guy here to have the nerve to jump in front of a camera and actually use her death to try and make it look like racism coming from Charlie Kirk is disgusting. You liberals have no lows. That's the problem. You guys will use anything just to try and maintain this moral high ground, but I can't even use those words. I'm sorry, I gotta correct myself. You're not maintaining any moral high ground. You guys truly believe that you're on this moral high ground, but you are absolutely not. People with this type of mentality, people with this type of worldview, this is what's wrong with the society of today. You guys, sorry liberals, I just gotta say it bluntly and put it out there. No matter what country we're talking about, it doesn't even have to be the United States of America, it could be any other country. Because when it comes to liberalism, this is why we label it as a mental illness, because it does not matter what borders you are in, it does not matter what continent you are on. It's always that same demented, twisted, woke worldview. It's very selfish, it's tons of virtue signaling. I don't believe you guys actually feel true empathy. This is why you guys push on empathy so hard. You want to pretend that you can feel, but you only feel when it comes to yourself. You don't actually truly feel for others. It's all an act to appear that you are a good person, that you are a normal, functioning member of society. But I'm sorry to break the news to you guys, especially the proof that you've given us all in just the past few weeks. Anybody that can jump in front of a camera and say the things that you guys have said have proven, not just to your neighboring citizens, not just to the people that are on US soil, but to people that are all over the world, just how vile you guys are when it comes to society. You guys are not good, functioning, contributing members to your society in the United States. You guys are actually the problem. And wow, watching the end of his clip now, nobody's gonna read him, nobody's gonna quote him, he's gonna contribute nothing to the world. Holy shit, buddy, your clip did not age well at all. You look stupid at this point. Do you know, I think it was in the first week and a half after Charlie Kirk passed, I think his social media accounts alone had 87 million views. 87 million views, that's insane. Nobody's quoting him. Do you know how many people have gotten baptized for the first time in their life because of Charlie Kirk? How many people went to church for the first time in their life because of Charlie Kirk? How many people started going back to church because of Charlie Kirk? How many people want to be a better man and start a family or do better for their family, be a better husband for their wife because of the inspiration that he left behind? But then there's little pieces of shit like you that get in front of cameras and try and say he's contributed nothing to this world. I would love to be able to ask this young man right here, what the hell have you ever contributed to this planet? Liberalism as a whole, you guys contribute nothing positive. Even for the people that you claim to try and defend, all the oppressed people, the marginalized people, the people of color, all the immigrants, you guys do nothing to actually help them. You guys are full of shit. You jump in front of cameras and you virtue signal. That's it. Your effort stops there. Or you might go have a nice peaceful protest all masked up so nobody can recognize who the hell you are. But besides that, you guys contribute nothing to your society. You're not even deserving of being a citizen of your country at this point. I've said it before and I'm gonna say it again. The way that you guys have acted within the past 2 weeks is disgusting. It's filthy, it's inhumane, and you should all of you should truly be ashamed of yourselves. Absolutely disgusting.
So I'm gonna be very fucking clear about this so that you know exactly where I stand. And I will say this with my whole entire chest. There are some people on this app that are sitting there saying, oh, you shouldn't wish death upon any person, no matter what side they're on. Fuck that. Fuck that. Charlie Kirk was a fucking Nazi. He was a fucking Nazi. And you know what kind of Nazi is the best Nazi? A dead one. Thank God that shit stain of a person is no longer in this world. And may his hell be being confronted by every single marginalized person that he hurt. That is what is fucking wrong with you. That does not make me a bad person for thinking that bad people should not be in this world. So, fuck that Nazi, and have a great day.
Hey, did you guys catch the Nazi rally, the Charlie Kirk memorial?
Charlie Kirk is dead, and all I'm really gonna say is that a man who claimed that gun violence was not a problem in America and that we did not need gun control, being killed by the very thing that he claimed did not exist, that's a glaring message right there, I'll tell you that much.
Well, breaking fucking news, folks. Seems somebody just took a shot at one of the Fantafast's favorite 5-mile-wide mouthpieces, Charles Chucklefuck Kirk.
Save your sympathy for the kids who are getting bombed in Palestine. Save your sympathy for the people who are getting thrown in the concentration camps right now. Save your fucking sympathy for the people getting deported right now for no reason. Save your sympathy for those people and not an evil man who has done nothing but harm other people and be a Nazi. Why are you empathizing and sympathizing with him? I don't care that he was a person. He wasn't to me. He was a Nazi to me. And if that doesn't make me a leftist because I think he's better off gone, so fucking be it. So fucking be it. Because a lot of y'all like to talk a big talk, but then when someone finally walks the walk, y'all are like, this is so bad. This is so bad. Shut the fuck up. Take your fake ass moral views and get the fuck out of it.
Not sorry. If someone's gonna spend their one shot at this life proving themselves to be incompatible with humanity, I'm not gonna feel bad for not feeling bad that they died.
Y'all, I just saw this video of people who went to that Charlie Kirk memorial being interviewed. And they were interviewing this woman, and she said in that quote, because they asked, the question was, you know, what made you come out today in support of Charlie Kirk, the memorial? And she said, you know, I just really, really love the things that he said. I feel like he spoke for me, you know, when I was too afraid to say those things. What were the things? And why were you so afraid to say them? Were they, I don't know, hateful? What the fuck are we living in right now?
Charlie Kirk's final words were defending guns, being prejudiced against the transgender community and the black community, and then he was shot and killed by a straight cis-het white man.
Charlie Kirk got shot? That's awful. That's so sad. Hope he recovers well.
I think it's worth to have a cost of unfortunately some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. The sacrificing of human lives is prudent and rational to the Second Amendment. That is something Charlie Kirk said 2 years ago. Flash forward to today, and Charlie Kirk was assassinated in front of the entire world with the same gun that he said that human lives were worth sacrificing for. I truly do wonder what his position on gun laws would be now. If you seriously can't understand why people are happy about this or why this is something that people are celebrating, I'll break it down for you. Charlie Kirk is one of the main representatives of something so much bigger than himself. His ideas were very volatile, but they weren't just volatile like a normal person's were. Charlie Kirk was championing ideas that were getting people killed. But not just any people, children. We're the only major country that has school shootings consistently. We're also the only major country where you can go into a store and buy a firearm, a military grade firearm with just an ID. And people like Charlie Kirk never saw that as an issue. They never saw that as a problem. You guys saw how real that video was? There are children who have suffered the exact same fate. Think about that in your mind. And Charlie Kirk said that those lives weren't enough, said that they were vital, said that their sacrifice was important so he could have a gun. I don't understand how you motherfuckers can come on here and show compassion for Charlie Kirk getting shot in front of everybody, but you can't show compassion for children, for babies getting shot. I don't give a fuck that he got shot. I don't give a fuck. Who cares? He said it himself. He wanted to sacrifice himself for them guns. So let him. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
He says Charlie Kirk was championing ideas that were getting people killed. I would genuinely like to know, and I'm being very honest, what ideas was getting people killed. I really want to know, because as far as I'm aware, not one person died because of Charlie Kirk. If somebody hurt themselves because of something that he said, I'm sorry, he's not responsible for that. All he did was speak words that were true and words that were honest. He would not get in front of cameras and lie to people. He wouldn't let delusions get any stronger than they already were. He tried to grip people and bring them back to reality. And you know, I've heard a few of you liberals say this now, and I've always kind of forgot to mention it, but from my honest point of view, because a few of you have said, well, you know, he said that losing a few lives was like pretty much all necessary in order to keep the Second Amendment. I'm wondering how he feels about that now since a gun took him away. He wouldn't change a thing. If you told Charlie Kirk on a crystal ball, you are going to die by a rifle, he would not have changed his stance, because his stance was honest and true. And this is what you liberals, you're a little bit too blind and dumb to truly understand this. I'm not going to say absolutely for certain, this is just my opinion here, YouTube, but your freedom, you still have it because of the people on the right that refuse to give up their Second Amendment rights. If you guys gave up your Second Amendment rights and disarmed yourselves, and citizens no longer had guns, you guys probably wouldn't be a free country anymore. You guys probably already would have been living under communism, under a true dictatorship, not the fake dictatorship that you guys think you're living under. You know how Donald Trump's like your American Hitler, he's the oppressor, and you know, all this other bullshit that you guys keep spewing about him. Yet you guys want to get rid of your guns. If you guys were truly oppressed, you could check in history, most countries that were disarmed usually end up living under a dictatorship shortly afterwards. Their police officers of those countries truly do become like a Gestapo, like what you guys are trying to pretend that ICE is right now. So if you guys were truly feeling oppressed, which we all know is bullshit, because if you really were, you wouldn't want to disarm yourselves. So it's very contradictory right there. So all of you progressive lefties truly owe a thanks to people that are on the right. I know that kills you to really think about, but you should truly thank conservatives and Republicans for refusing to get rid of their Second Amendment rights. Because of them, you are still free people today. Now, going back to what he's saying about the gun violence that's happening, and you know, one thing that the liberals like to use a lot, you kind of can't blame them, is the school shootings. And what I would be questioning on the left, if I was a lefty, instead of pushing for gun reform so hard, I would be questioning, okay, banks used to get robbed all the time. What do? We put a person there that's armed, an armed guard. No, or bank robbers would know, well, shit, if I walk in with a gun, I can get shot because there's an armed guard in there. And it's the same thing when it came to sporting events. There's armed security. Nightclubs, there's armed security. Any type of big venue, there's armed security. Why? This would be my question. And somebody should bring up this in Congress and try and get legislation made on this. Why is there no armed security for schools? There's hundreds of people there. And there's a history of violence. Why is there no armed security in schools? That's your answer. It's not disarming because, again, you know, you liberals, this is where you guys get so frustrating. You guys all think that you're so intelligent. You all want to tell us to keep, you know, picking up books, educate yourself, how you guys are so highly educated. You know, my usual favorite lines there, critical thinking and pattern recognition, all that type of stuff, all that good stuff. But what you guys aren't catching on to here is you're only going to legally disarm citizens. I think there's, 400 million guns out there in the United States? There's more guns than there is people. You're going to just disarm the people that are sane, the people that are not criminals. Those are the only people that you'd actually be able to take their weapons from. All of the criminals are still gonna have their weapons. So what do you do about them? Like, do you guys really not think this through too well? Like, disarming your citizens is not going to end gun violence. It's just going to make you an absolute sitting duck. If you want to stop school shootings, or at least drastically slow them down, I can't go and say it would stop them 100%, but it would at least drastically slow it down. The answer to that is to arm somebody at the school. Now, Donald Trump had a great idea. What he stated is you have some veterans that work at the schools, people that have experience, people that used to be in the military. Let them have the right to carry while they're in the school. That's your armed guards right there. And I mean, if you really wanted to do this well, this should be all of your teachers. Not to say that, hey, it should only be like conservative people that are in the schools teaching, but veterans as teachers that are armed. Problem solved. I mean, let's be real. From a student's point of view, what would you rather have? Would you rather have the guy that used to serve, who's full of tattoos, who's armed as your teacher? Or would you rather have the overweight person with rainbow glasses on with a pride flag in the back of their class? Who would you feel safer as your teacher? And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to pick on the LGBTQ community or whatnot. I'm just attaching it to wokeness because 9 out of every 10 teachers just seems to be a liberal, and all these liberal teachers seem to be woke as hell. They're not teaching actual curriculum. All they're doing is forcing upon the students their worldviews as it is. So we're really not getting much done with schooling anyways. So in my opinion, the whole teacher situation, that's something that's got to be fixed out anyways. But if you're going to, say, for instance, clear some out and bring in some new ones, you might as well bring in some that have some experience with firearms. That was a great idea that Donald Trump had. Of course, people on the left thought he was a whack job for thinking about it, but it completely makes sense. If you want to slow down the school shootings, not halt them entirely, but at least slow them down drastically, you need to have some people in the walls of the school on a daily basis that are armed. And you know, on a final note, this is just something I would like to touch on here before. A lot of these liberals, they try and take what Charlie Kirk said about it's the way, I can't remember exactly how he worded it, but that it's worth some people losing their lives in order to keep the Second Amendment. These guys always try and twist it up and say, Charlie Kirk said it's okay that kids get shot in schools, that way we can still have our guns. That's not what he said. He said casualties do happen, but unfortunately it's worth it. It's prudent in order to keep the Second Amendment to defend our civil rights. And you liberals tend to forget when it comes to the Constitution, I don't know the word for word quote here, but it's not just so, hey, so I can have a gun. No, it's in order to keep yourself armed in case your government turns tyrannical on you. It's supposed to be like your safety net. It's supposed to be your assurance that, hey, once we disarm ourselves, the government can become tyrannical. Now, this was written, what, in 1776. Now, if there was already this thought back then, when your forefathers were writing the Constitution, that there's a possibility that the government can turn on its citizens, we're talking hundreds of years ago here, guys, they already foreseen that this may have been a problem. This is why your Second Amendment rights are unbreakable and they must be kept. You must remain armed. If the United States ever becomes disarmed, the United States ever falls, the world's done. That's just the bottom line. You lefties may not want to admit it. You might not be able to see it because to you guys, you just all want to think about rainbows and cucumbers and butterflies and whatnot. But that's the reality of it. If the United States falls, the world falls apart. All right, guys, that is going to be it for this one. And I think we are done now with these liberal demon videos. I am going to be moving on to Tylenol. I definitely want to touch base with that. I'm a little bit behind on that, but I've collected some clips on that situation there. Some of them are kind of funny. I mean, some of them turned out to be kind of unfortunate as well. So we're going to be getting into that in the next video. And until then, you guys stay safe out there, keep your heads up, and until next video, have a good one, guys.
Hi, Donald. Thought I would check in after, today's activities. Charlie Kirk? I mean, he himself said a couple of deaths here and there aren't so bad to keep our Second Amendment right. And then later, another school shooting. Another one. Hey, by the way, I'm wearing a shirt just for you. So I thought maybe you should think about gun violence. I bet if you ask Charlie now if he thought a few deaths so that everybody got to keep their Second Amendment rights was okay by him, I think he'd probably say, as long as it wasn't me. Guess he shouldn't have manifested that shit. He definitely manifested it. So, Donald, about that gun violence. How many times have I made a TikTok after a violent gun shooting? I know there have been at least a few, Donald. Yeah, at least a few. I wonder if he was just born a criminal and that's why he shot. That's why he shot Charlie Kirk.